All right, you good?
Ready?
Ready? All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NoFeelPodcast. We have a special guest here with us today, Colby Seltzer, Tarleton alum.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, Coach.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
How are you guys doing?
Thanks for coming.
Good.
Yeah.
So how we kind of start this off, especially when we have guests, is we try to start you at your younger career, right? And kind of walk through everything and kind of go from there. So I know you won a state title with high school, right?
I
so
did.
Kind of walk us through high school and then kind of we'll roll up from there.
Okay. So going into high school, I went to Northwest High School for my freshman year. Going into my sophomore year, they built Eaton right here, obviously. And I was zoned to go to Eaton. I technically had an exemption because my mom was a teacher in the district, but I mean, they're building a brand new high school. Like, I'm going to be the oldest class all my next 3 years there. You know what I mean? Like, why not? It's brand new, nice facilities. And the rest of my friends were zoned to go there also. Like the same kids who I've been, from coach pitch all the way up to high school, we've been playing together. And so, I mean, to me, that was a no-brainer. And my mom wanted me to go to the new school. Anyways, so as a sophomore there, was our first year, had to play a JV schedule, throttled everybody.
Oh.
Right. I mean, like we were pretty good. Like our freshman team at Northwest was pretty stacked. But it didn't get us ready for what was coming in our junior year when we play a varsity schedule. Kind of get kicked around a little bit. I think we finished like 15-15, lost a play-in game to Boswell for the playoffs. That hurt, obviously. Came back senior year, I mean, completely different team. Like moment never got to us. Like you could put the Yankees in the other dugout, it felt like we were going to win. Like every time we rolled up to the field, it wasn't about who we were playing or what was going on. Like we just knew we were going to win. And I mean, it's really the only team I've been on that's felt like that. Like you hit a stride and you really get rolling. And I mean, you get the big hit, you get the bounce, you get the call. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, people hate on the Chiefs, but like, it's kind of like what happens there, right? Like,
yeah, they get a lot of calls. Really weird.
they do, but like at the same time, it's almost like they will it into existence, if that makes sense. Like they're playing so good, like their unity's so pure that like things just happen for them. And that's how it felt for us too. I mean, we were not the most talented team in the state, not close. We're facing Tech commits, A&M commits. I mean, our best player was Cade, and he was committed to UTA as a pitcher. So like he was an everyday center fielder, hit 380 in high school.
To make a run like that, I mean, y'all can chime in, but my opinion is you make a run like that, you got to have a little luck on your side.
100%. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It very easily the double that clears the bases could be a line out to the center fielder, inning over. Yep. Like it's just so much has to go right. And, we were lucky to have that happen and just ride it all the way out. I mean, we started the tournament season 6-6, just average, 14 straight wins through district, beat everybody, then lost one game in playoffs. I mean, that was it. We just kept rolling.
Amarillo High,
played them in the 5th round. They had, some really good players. Max Marshak committed to Tech. They had a pitcher committed to Wichita State, like nasty. I mean, dude, like 1992 with a real slider in high school. It was tough. Yeah, we lost 2-1. I mean, whatever, that stuff happens every once in a while, but bounce back game 3. We go Cade Winquist on the mound, game over. No problem.
So kind of speak on Cade. I know there's a lot of Cobras on that team, right? Guys that you said you grew up playing around. Mm-hmm. You've played a lot of baseball now, but does anything even come close to playing with the guys that you grew up with and going to war with them for, especially the inaugural team at Eaton, to know that you're the first, like you said? Does anything even compare to doing that with your boys?
Not really. Yeah. No, and everybody always tell you close a yearbook, whatever. Like I get to my freshman year at Tarleton, all the guys know what I did because the coach was keeping up with it or whatever. And the first thing you hear when you get there is close a yearbook. It doesn't matter anymore. Right. But like, I don't want to discredit what we did because it was really special. Like when I moved to Texas in 2006, Cade was right across the street from me. Like we'd get grounded, play catch across the street because technically it wasn't hanging out. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, playing with that dude, we knew each other since we were 6. And getting to play with those kind of guys all the way through your senior year, I mean, there's not much that's beating it. And I'm sure if you ask Brad Hott, too, he'll tell you the same thing. He won a high school state championship, won a national championship at LSU, and, I mean, almost won a World Series in the big leagues, too. And so I'd be curious to hear his answer on which one was the most fun.
So then, all right, so let's enter the next chapter now.
Okay.
Had a long path, right? Had some different avenues. Go ahead and tell us about college baseball for you, what that journey was like, what it looked like heading into signing day, and let's go from there.
Yeah, so my junior year, I got my first offer. It was from Texas Wesleyan. I knew, obviously, I was super grateful to even be getting a chance, but I thought, there's better places I could go as a player. It was a great place. I mean, like, I don't know, just realizing that somebody wants you to go play and think you're good enough to go play in college is a great feeling, right? And it gives you the confidence to carry yourself, especially like as a junior. I'm like, dude, I got a whole nother year before I even got to show up on a campus. I mean, I can get a lot better in a year. Then I went to a workout at NCTC, North Central Texas College, got a second offer. And later in my junior year with the Cobras, we did a showcase at Tarleton State. And I left there with an offer to go. They were D2 at the time. I left there with an offer. Head coach was great, Brian Conger. He's now with the Reds doing pitching analytics. And I mean, just a super genius with a brain. Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew I wanted to go there mainly just for him. I was seeing some of the stuff that he was doing with hitters and pitchers, and I didn't know what position I was going to play. They kind of recruited me as an athlete. So I committed, had signing day. It was really cool. Coach said a few words about me, not a big deal. It wasn't as big as it is today. I'll put it that way. You just meet in the gym. There's, 30 people there, whatever. He talks for 5 minutes, move on. Now it's they set a whole day aside for it. It's pretty cool. But I mean, yeah, I kind of knew I wanted to go play for him. And as soon as I get there, we get to Christmas break, he gets a job with the Rangers. So he leaves, right? And I mean, I obviously, if I was in his shoes, I'm not turning down that invite. You know what I mean? So like, there's
what you're working towards.
Yeah, there's no ill will towards him or anything, right? But like hindsight, if I would have known that was going to happen, I just would have gone to NCTC my first year to get 2 years of junior college. So we end up playing that year. We don't do very well. I caught like 40 out of the 45 games we played or something after playing third base all my senior year. And I mean, our staff struggled here and there, and it kind of took the fun out of it for me behind the plate. So it was a super easy phone call to NCTC when I realized that I wanted to go to junior college, called them up, got my scholarship offer signed, knew I was going there, went there to play the infield again. And we got 15 games of the season, and COVID cut our season short.
Perfect.
Yeah. I was talking to some schools, had some things rolling. I had 2 offers, University of Incarnate Word and back to Tarleton State. And I was tossing around the idea of going back to NCTC for another year, but it kind of just felt like I was burning a year when I have 2 opportunities to go play Division I baseball. Took my visit to UIW, just not for me, right in the middle of the city, super expensive. Tarleton was definitely a better fit for me, and I was already comfortable over there. I like the campus. I like Stephenville. Some of the guys had stayed there originally who, I was really close with. So that was an easy decision to go back there. Spent 2 more years there. We were in that transition period into D1. So approaching my 5th year because of COVID, I wanted to have a chance to go play for something. I feel bad. Last year, Tarleton State won the WAC tournament and didn't get a bid to go to a regional or get to play in a postseason. So that was one of the factors for me going to Hardin-Simmons was I felt like I could go there, for sure going to play every day, and 2 of my best friends from Tarleton State had transferred there. So I'm looking at it and weighing around the idea, and I was like, if it is going to be my last year of baseball, right, I want to have as much fun as possible and try to make as many memories as possible. So I was like, I'm just going to go there, play with my 2 best friends for a year and see what happens and have some fun. We ended up losing to ETBU in the championship game of the tournament, whatever, we don't get in. Yeah. ETBU lost in the semifinals or something in the national championship.
There was something that happened in that game. There was a lot of drama or something with a bat.
There was some controversy for sure. A little home cooking, ETBU hosting. So they're in charge of checking all the bats. And one of our hitters comes up in the championship game. He's been using that bat all weekend. Hits a 3-run homer to take the lead in the 2nd inning, up by a run. It was like 4-3 or something. We were up. Coach comes out of the dugout, appeals, says that bat's illegal. Gets called out, inning over.
He was saving it.
Yep. He knew it the whole time, even though they put a sticker on it. Yep. And so, like, I mean, you know, I don't want to discredit anything for ETBU. Obviously, a really good team. They were better than we were, way deeper. Like, it's a mini DBU over there. It's legit. It's a well-run program.
Beautiful
campus. But, yeah, it was just kind of like some of those things like that. And then that same kid's dad was playing a trumpet, right? And, it's funny. But, like, the day before, ETBU, their press box people, asked him to play the 7th inning stretch. We get to the championship game. They tell him he's not allowed to have it. Right. So it's just some of those things happen there and whatever, you know, home field advantage. We'll call it that. Yeah. And I'll leave it there.
What was your favorite memory of Tarleton?
Ooh. We beat DBU on a Thursday night the year that they were 1-1 away from going to the College World Series. That was fun. We faced our former number 1 at NCTC. So I had a little scouting report going into the game against them. You know, I went over with all the hitters. And we went out there. We beat them 4-3 in 11 innings. Nice. That was really special. The sad part about that is next day I'm warming up in pregame, get pulled off the field for COVID. Oh, I got placed into a hotel room at the last minute, and one of those guys tested positive. Get pulled off the field, put in a van, drove back to Stephenville. Jeez. So, I mean, dude, the whole COVID thing was madness, obviously. Insane. I mean, yeah, just so many twists and turns. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's happened to. No. But, I mean, it just sucks. You just beat them on a Thursday night. You're getting ready. We got a 4-game series, you know, which after the whole COVID thing went down, they had to cut it to 3 because we didn't have the depth. I mean, dude, we had 8 guys go home on a bus. And 3 of them were our top relievers. So it's just, you know, it was like our 2-3-4 hole, and then like our first 3 guys out of the pen had to get sent home. So they had to cut it down. I mean, yeah, I was ready to go try to beat him again. You know what I mean? Try to split a series or something. Yeah. I mean, they're announcing the starting lineup, and I get pulled off the field.
That's crazy. That is tough.
So that I would say that Friday night win's fun. And I mean, like, obviously, like, the school was a lot of fun for me. Tailgates were great. You know, they're smaller, not at the scale of like a UT or, you know, an SEC school, but like really the people who were there were pumped about it. And I mean, yeah, I love the school. I loved it.
I say the UT look over here.
Yeah. I had to throw that in there. I had to throw that in there for him.
All I had to do here was reinsure that Wally heard that part. Yeah. Right.
There's been some bickering about some schools.
Just do me a favor and don't look at me during the podcast.
I want to throw in some positivity.
Yeah, a little bit. Anytime you get UT thrown out there, Trevor's ears perk and the smile comes out.
It's part of it.
So out of all the places that you had a chance to play, what place just kind of left an imprint on your Division I baseball experience? Like, was it Mizzou? Was it Vanderbilt? Was it, you know, where did you go that you're like, wow, they wore me out?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Mizzou was the worst I ever got it. We played some smaller schools like what's that one in Louisiana? I can't remember. Oh, Northwestern.
Oh yeah.
The Demons or whatever they are.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like 4 drunk dudes sitting behind the left field fence just wearing me out the whole time, right? But like by the end of that, all of them followed me on Instagram and like had messaged me, said I took it like a champ or whatever, you know. So, but I mean, Mizzou home opener at their place, packed student section. I'm playing first base. In case you can't tell, I played everywhere in college except for center field and pitch. So like all over the place. I'm playing first base. And at Mizzou, I mean, they're literally like from me to you, Justin, like on top of you. It got so bad, the umpire had to jump in and turn to tell them that they get 1 F-bomb an inning, and that's it. I mean, dude, they're talking about everything under their sun. I mean, they were going after my grandma, whatever, man. Sister, girlfriend, mom, whatever. Nobody was safe. And I guess it's on me. I probably should have gone private on my social media. But back then, my ego was so big. I was like, whatever, dude. I can handle it.
I can do it.
Yeah. But after about 3 innings, it got pretty old. Yeah. Yeah. Lost a heartbreaker, that one, too. Lost 5-4. That sucks.
That's tough.
So it's safe to say that the SEC does mean a little more.
It does. It does mean a little more. And then I played A&M twice at A&M. Over spring break on a Tuesday, they had 6,000 people. I'm just like, you stayed around. 6,000 people stayed around to watch Tarleton State play A&M on a Tuesday during spring break. Like, get out of here. You're supposed to be wherever at the beach or whatever, you know. But no, sure enough, you look around. There's bubbles. There's chants. There's ball 5, ball 6, ball 7. I mean,
it's got to be tough.
And polish it off with getting walked off in the bottom of the 10th.
God.
Lost 8-7 or something like that. So played them tight, played them good. I mean, just they're deeper.
Gotcha. A couple years ago at the Big 12 tournament, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, OU was playing Texas Tech, and there was a first baseman for Texas Tech with the last name Stillwell. And there's a couple drunk fans behind us, and they're just letting this guy have it. And it's a Globe Live, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not just absolutely going to sell out and, all the way through the third deck. It's going to be loaded up. So you can hear anything in between innings and stuff. So Stillwell's running out to first base, and he had like 2 strikeouts or something on the day. And these guys behind us are just eating him alive. One guy, I mean, it's dead quiet. One guy is screaming, Stillwell, Stillwell. Well, you still don't have a hit today.
Yeah. No, I mean, part of it's dealing with that kind of stuff, right? Like, no matter where you go, you're going to hear something. Even in high school nowadays, right. Some of those student sections can get rowdy. I know my senior year, ours was pretty rowdy. They can definitely affect a game. And
we went to a Boswell playoff game, and it got pretty personal for the outfielders. Oh, yeah. It was crazy. And it's social media, everybody's social media. You can find out a lot.
A lot. Even if you're private.
Yeah.
Talking about girlfriends.
Yeah. And they had their girlfriends' names painted on their backs.
Yep.
For the outfielders.
No, I mean, it can get chippy out there. Yeah. There's no doubt.
Okay. So after your college career, I know you had a chance to go on and play professional baseball, and you still are right now, lucky enough to go play in the Atlantic League. But the step before that, you went to Michigan.
Yep.
And kind of started off the professional career there. So what was that like?
That was 2023 3 was my first year out there, coming off my Hardin Simmons season. I had like a month and a half where I was going to go originally right after the end of the season, but we ended up making the tournament. And so it leaked over all the way through spring training. And obviously they're going to give the guy who they took out of spring training a chance for a while. So I had to wait like a month and 15 days or something without any at-bats, roll in there, and try to face professional pitching for the first time. Struggled a lot my first year. I mean, I think I hit like 148 or something. It was terrible. I mean, I'd sit up late at night just waiting for the phone call to go home. Was fine on defense, just wasn't hitting. I struck out 35% of the time or something. It was a really dark place, honestly. It's bad when you're sitting there staring at your phone waiting for your manager to call you to tell you you're going home.
Right.
Somehow stuck it all the way out to the end. I made it to the end of the season, lost in the championship game, went home. Didn't know what was going to be next for me. Obviously, after a year like that, I could have easily just said, whatever, not meant for it. Let's just go get a job, do the normal stuff. Something in me didn't let me do that. I got up here and I started swinging the bat, and then I kind of got back into things and kind of caught some, wind in the sail again to try to make this thing a reality, and went back out. I mean, I had the season that I thought I should have there, played really well. Yeah, dude, you just learned so much. You learn so much because you're playing with guys who have affiliate experience, as high as like AA or AAA. They fall back down, you know what I mean? Whether it's an injury or whatever the case may be. And so you're just picking brains, you know what I mean? And the reason you call them a manager or skip and not coach in pro ball is because they're not there to coach you, right? They're there to manage the team and help you, not necessarily coach you and make you a better baseball player, right? They're there to help you with the mental side of things, your preparation, help you kind of through the struggle, give you a pat on the butt, whatever. Yeah. And my manager was great, Taylor Jellikowski. He's the head coach at Macomb Community College. It's a JUCO out there in Michigan. Just an amazing human being. He gave me the leash to stay around that first year. I came back, had a decent spring training, still wasn't sure if I was going to make it out of spring training that second year. He gave me a chance. I didn't start opening night, and I went out and almost won an MVP. So
just short of the Triple Crown, right?
Yeah, just short. Yeah, it's okay. I lost by like 6 singles, whatever.
That's awesome. That's a heck of a year.
So yeah, and now it's still the same thing. Trying to learn. Just like you can learn from failure, you got to learn from your success too. Obviously that year gave me the ability to go, where I am now, right. Put up some good numbers, show that you can do it, and it's only a short season, right? 45 games or whatever. Like I'm about to go play 125, a little different. You go from 3 games a week to 5,
right?
Or 6 even. But that's what it's all about. That's why you want to play professional baseball. You want to play as many games as, the guys you watch on TV pretty much. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's been a long journey. I've learned a lot about myself through, especially in pro ball. Like all throughout college, you're told what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You get to pro ball, it's you. You got to figure out how to prepare yourself the best. You got to figure out how to get yourself right.
Right.
I mean, yeah, and like the personalization of pro ball is what I love the most. There's no one telling you, holding your hand, whatever. You get to really figure out who you are and be yourself.
Yeah, it's on you.
And that's when you play your best, I think, is when you can fully just be yourself on the baseball field.
For sure.
So you're going to the Atlantic League, and for you viewers out there, that's kind of like the trial run for professional baseball in the affiliate side.
For sure.
So I know they have a lot of things, like the expanded bases.
Yep.
And I've heard over time they even talked about maybe even moving the rubber bag, just small things like that, different baseballs. What's something that you would like to see them implement into that league, that you think could possibly help baseball moving forward?
Yeah. So obviously the RoboZone would be great, right? Like pitchers are too good for umpires to be giving them any kind of help, in my opinion. Like if you give a guy a slider this far off the plate, that completely ruins my at bat at times.
Right.
Especially if it's like a 1-1 or like a 2-1 count, like that completely throws a wrench in your whole at bat. When really you should be sitting 3-1, but because that guy got it wrong, I'm in a hole now. The other thing that, if anyone's going to watch this, I've spoken about this to you guys before. My idea, because people are so against the RoboZone, it takes a human aspect out. Like we have the pitch comm with the earpiece for the pitcher. All we got to do is share one with the umpire. And I feel like, because just like a hitter, they're having to adjust to a 92-mile-an-hour slider, and still be able to call a strike effectively. Like I'm not discredit, like their job's really hard. And so I feel like if they knew what pitch was coming, like it would help them. It still wouldn't be like RoboZone accurate, but I mean, they'd probably be 40-50% more accurate.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
So, and it keeps the human element, doesn't slow down the game at all. It's a press of a button. It's the same time the pitcher gets it.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'd like to see something like that. Maybe. I don't know about moving the rubber bag. That's an interesting one. I'd have to get in it and see it.
Yeah.
Was pitch clock used in indie ball before being introduced to Major League Baseball?
See, I think it was tested in the Atlantic and the bigger bases. Yeah, because it's a partner league, and so they can kind of throw all the crazy little ideas that they have and test it and
see what sticks.
Yeah, it's kind of like a controlled environment.
The crazy one was steal first. If it's a 2-2 count and pass ball, they could just take off and first base, steal first base.
Yeah, we're getting into banana ball stuff now.
That's the crazy thing.
Yeah,
they're trying to keep viewership, and I don't think that's
the golden at bat rule. I get the concept behind it, but fellas, we can't mess with baseball at its core. We're pushing it.
No, I mean, see Ohtani bat get out by less than an out, right? And he's the first out, but bases loaded because he struck out. And they're like, "Oh, golden bat!" He comes right back in the
I mean,
you can't have that.
Or you put him on, and now all of a sudden he's back up to the plate.
Ghost runner.
First. That's the most beautiful part of baseball is the unspoken hero coming out of nowhere to win you a game. You take that out of it, you take everything out of the sport, in my opinion.
The best thing about baseball is you got to play till the last out. There's no clock, right? Like wherever you fall in your lineup is who's up. Right. And you got to try to figure out how to make it work, and I think the game's in a great place and people are trying to mess with it instead of just enjoying the way it is right now. I mean, this is the best baseball we've ever seen, especially shortened draft, what COVID did. There's less roster spots in minor league baseball. So it's a hard time to try to get into pro ball. But that's why it's so good, I think, right? Like when there was 30 rounds or whatever it was, and it was long and there was 8 minor league teams per division. I don't want to say it's watered down because those are still really good baseball players, but having the shortened draft, the lesser roster spots is really even tightened it up that much better to where really the only best of the best really get in. And I think it's great for the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had a really cool moment in the Michigan League. You got to do something that nobody really gets to do, especially on a baseball field. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Yeah. So I proposed to my fiance after the All-Star game, under the fireworks, under the rain. It was pretty cool. That was, and I was only supposed to play the first 4 innings. And the other second baseman, so I had to flip over and play second base because second baseman had a little tight quad or something and couldn't go. So I had to play the whole game sitting there with it like I literally have my ring in my Bruce Bolt batting glove case, like, and so
ball player.
Yeah, the nice thing about an All-Star game is none of the stats count. I can't remember. I think I struck out, popped up to first, and walked or something. I could not care less about what was going on. Obviously, playing an All-Star game is cool, and I was trying to enjoy that. But dude, with that in the back of your head, you're just like, you're watching, you're looking at the scoreboard. Okay, it's the 6th inning, 7th inning. This is getting real. Like, and you're still trying to go play baseball. But I mean, I hate to say I didn't care about baseball, but that's one of the very few times in my life where I've had something bigger going on, and it really became second, and she had no idea. I mean, everybody in the league pretty much, guys on the other team knew that I was doing it. And so everybody's sitting around with their phones, and I was kind of getting scared she was going to catch on, but she thought they were just filming the fireworks. But it was really cool. And then, you got fans coming up to her while I'm in the locker room changing, congratulating her. And man, it was really cool.
That's awesome. I do want to say I'm very, very happy for you, but you did put me behind the 8 ball with Taylor.
Yeah.
You set the bar a little high there. I think the Olive Garden proposal is out of the question for me now. Appreciate that though. I'll miss out on the free breadsticks, but it's nothing cold.
You know what you need to do? You need to go DoorDash and have them deliver the ring. Yeah. That's right up your alley.
Forget eating from the comfort of your couch. Let's propose from the comfort of your own couch.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, babe, open up that burrito.
Yeah.
Oh, yo, I would be dead. I would actually be dead. I would be dead.
Yeah. What someone told me is the right one will be excited regardless of where it is or what's happening, Yeah.
That's awesome.
But deep down, you're like, please say yes.
Please say yes.
There's a lot of people here. Please say yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing she said to me, I got down on the knee, was, said, will you marry me? She said, no effing way. And so I'm just there. I'm like, waiting for her to say
an answer.
Yeah. Just like, waiting for her. And then she finally said yes, and everything ran smooth. But for a second there, my heart dropped for a minute,
You thought you were a Twitter headline.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. X. Sorry.
Yeah, X.
Sorry. We gotta get better about that myself.
I'm old.
Yeah, I mean, let's get it right if we're going to talk about
it. So, but yeah, man, that was a good summer.
Yeah.
No doubt. I mean, dude, Michigan in the summertime.
Yeah, it's pretty
hard to beat. The golf's incredible. And with as many off days I had, I was out there.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I understand that your now fiance was a softball player at Texas Wesleyan.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So let's get down to it. Who's the better hitter?
Her college numbers are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I can't go band for band with her college numbers.
She was legit.
Yeah, she was legit. She's got a bunch of school records.
That's awesome.
All conference every year. So hopefully our kids are gonna be pretty good.
That's right. The kids better have some soft hands. That's all I'm saying.
I tried to get her to hit the other day when y'all were in there.
Oh, dude, she won't do it.
Yeah,
she won't. I've tried, so I can't even get her to play catch with me hardly.
That's
but
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, she loved playing softball, but she's so happy to be on the other side of it now and like really figuring out who she is as a person instead of just as a softball player. And it's been fun to watch.
Absolutely.
So on a game day, everybody kind of has their routine. We've talked to Saul before about, what did you eat that day? What exactly did your game day look like? Waking up and then, having to get to the field. What did you do in that time to get your mind right?
Yeah. So like, are we on like 7 o'clock, like night game?
Yeah. Let's say night game.
Normal day.
Yeah.
Okay. Normally wake up, I drink, my minerals or take my vitamins, my creatine, try to eat a good breakfast, really just kind of hang out, relax. What I started doing in Michigan is right when I wake up, I go outside barefoot in the grass, try to soak up some sun.
Little grounding.
Right. Yeah, a little grounding, just try to get in tune with the day. The sunlight on your skin always feels good. Hang out probably about 1:15, 1:30. I get there early, dude. Like I get to the field so early. I'm the first one there pretty much all the time. Roll in, clean my cleats, set up my locker, put my belt, my pants, get all the stuff I'm taken care of. Normally have like a sandwich or something, go outside, eat, just stare at the field, scroll my phone, hang out. Other guys start to roll in, get dressed for BP, go to the cage, take some swings on my own off the tee, just some feels. Go out, take my pregame defense, some ground balls, some easy stuff, double plays, infield in, all the basic stuff. Nothing crazy, really. Get ready for BP, head back in, get dressed, go warm up, play catch,
and it's game time.
Get ready to go. Yeah, the one thing I started doing before games is I walk out to center field, close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I just try to like pay attention to the way like it smells, the sounds I'm hearing, visualizing that whole time, like myself having success, trying to. That's really kind of what I feel like took me to the next level. Was everybody always talks about that, and people are like, oh, whatever, that doesn't affect it. Like I really think there's something to visualization and trying to get yourself in tune with your surroundings, especially when you're trying to do something that's so reactionary, like hit and field. Because you don't know what he's going to throw you. You don't know what ball is going to be hit. It all has to be a reaction based on what you're seeing and what your senses are telling you. And so I feel like getting that feeling in right before the game is, you're listening to the glove pop while your pitcher's warming up. You're listening to the people in the stands chatter. You're smelling popcorn. You're smelling hot dogs, whatever the case may be. And you're listening to the pregame music. I open my eyes and I'm like, all right, just ready to go.
So that's a pretty normal day, I would have to say. I know I've played with some guys that, especially pitchers. Pitchers are the weirdest guys, but I know they show up to the clubhouse and it's like crush 3 monsters, headbutt my locker 4 times.
For
but
sure.
It's got to be 4 because I threw a no-hitter when I did it 4 times.
Right, yeah. And I think something like that is good when you normally have to throw 3-4 innings, right? Like that's mainly reliever behavior.
Right.
But when you got to play a whole game, I try not to ever get too amped. Like everybody says you're always like competing against the pitcher and you got to hate the pitcher and all this stuff. And I don't perform my best when I'm that way.
Yeah.
When I'm angry, trying to do something like that, like I just want to be there and like be in the moment, really pay attention. Like Manny Ramirez talked about like being infatuated with the space between you and the pitcher.
Yeah.
And focusing on that rather than what he's going to throw you. How angry am I at him? Like that's the whole college thing. Like get in there, compete. He's not better than you. You got to beat him. I don't think about that or in those terms anymore. I did, and I didn't have success doing that. Like I said, I got to pro ball, found out who I was, what worked for me, and you can really kind of explore yourself and try different things. And that's kind of what I landed on. I don't want to play with. You want to be intense, but it's got to be like a focus and a calmness behind it too. There's a real fine line between too like relaxed and too overboard, and you want to try to like teeter that line that whole time, which is why I feel like being where you are in the moment kind of keeps you there.
Yeah.
Right. All you're focused on is this pitch. Right. And then when I step out, I take a breath, this pitch, right. This ground ball. And then on defense is the same thing. I do my prep step, get ready to field a ball. Okay. It wasn't hit to me, strike 1, foul ball, whatever. I normally, take a step back. I draw a little circle at shortstop where I do my prep step. And when I'm outside the circle, I'm unfocused. As soon as I prep step into that circle, I'm laser focused, right? Because it's hard to hold that focus over 9 innings, right? Where you're just intently focused. It's so much easier when you just have to focus for that 1 second, and then you can look in the stands, look at the scoreboard, look at who's on deck,
right?
Whatever. Say something to second baseman, talk to the guy at second base. When I'm right back in that circle, though, I'm locked.
That's awesome. I know we had a guy that I played with, and he'd show up to the clubhouse and. This was really off the wall. I didn't understand it, but it was his routine, whatever. I'm not going to judge him. He had like 4 or 5 action figures. And so he'd come in before every game and he would line up his action figures in his locker. And it would be like a G.I. Joe, a dinosaur, a race car. He'd line them all up in a specific order. And then he felt comfortable enough to go play and be in the zone.
Did you play with Pedro Serrano?
Yeah, that's what that sounds like, dude.
Hats pull back.
Yeah. No, I'd say like the only like weird thing I'll do like that is I like to buy the same pair of cleats just in different colors.
Yeah.
For seasons. I went into a funk. I wore 1 white cleat, 1 blue cleat. Been like 2 for 4. Felt like myself again.
Perfect.
Went back to wearing normal cleats. It just sometimes just switching something up, right? Like you didn't forget how to hit overnight. Let's be real. You didn't. Right. But just like being able to switch something up, eat a different meal, wear a different undershirt, wear stirrups, wear normal socks, pants down, pants up, different cleats, stuff like that sometimes can just kind of like, I don't know.
It's the mind.
It's all in your mind, but we play such a mental sport that I think you have to be able to explore that a little bit.
Yeah, it's the unzip and rip method. Step up to the plate, unzip your pants, let's go to work.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, whatever works.
Let it fly.
I love it.
Yeah.
You find what works for you and what doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. I've learned a lot of that in pro ball. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about that in college. You know, like the mental side of performance in college isn't a thing. They just want you to be tough. And I don't think that every player plays good when they're just thinking about being tough. You have to have a certain level of toughness, but
yeah, absolutely.
So I'll let you know. I mean, Cope, I know you're going to Atlantic League.
Yeah.
I think you leave here in like a month or so, a month and a half.
Yeah, I think it's like 44 days, but who's counting?
Who's counting?
43 days, 23 hours, 12 minutes, 6 seconds, and 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
From me and from these guys, we hope you have an awesome season, dude. And thanks for jumping on and kind of walking us through some things. It's a perspective that we understand, but our viewers might not.
Right.
A lot of people understand the high school side of things, but man, when you get to the next level and the next level after that, you said some stuff today that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the last thing on that, the mental side, right? Like everybody pretty much at Division I level has the talent to go play pro ball, right? Yeah. Like what's the separator though? What separates them? Right? A lot of people tell you work ethic, weight room, whatever the case is. To me, I think it's all in the mind. I think they train their mind better than most people, whether they do it on purpose or not. They were born that way and just kind of fell into it, right? Like, I mean, yeah, dude, you watch big league games and they come up in some big situations, and you're like, how do you keep your mind straight to even get a good swing off? You know what I mean? I think they've just the toughness isn't the right word, but they have enough layers over their mental capability that this stuff doesn't get to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah, thank you guys. I mean, I'm pumped about this.
You're a busy dude. I think I speak for all three of us when no three guys will be rooting harder for you because you deserve it, man.
Thank you guys.
Day in and day out, you beat us here to the cages. Well, beat me at least. I don't know if you beat Wally.
Wally's here sometimes.
That's not hard to do. You work like once a month, so it shouldn't be that hard.
Don't take away from his moment. Quit making it about you. Don't make it about you. But seriously, Colt, thank you, man.
Yeah.
I know you're busy. Looking forward to seeing you play. Excited for your future, dude.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I ask one thing before we cut it off, though.
All right.
When you hit a homer this year, because it will happen. I've seen the swing, beautiful swing.
Yeah.
You've worked hard for it. When you're rounding second base, will you just give us one of these?
Yeah, I might have to hit it one time just because you asked me. Once, Trav.
Okay, but can I get a horns up on the next yak?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, okay.
I'll make that.
Okay, I mean, fair.
I'll throw you horns up. I'll be in Maryland. I'm from Texas. Nobody will know better.
No,
I love it. I love it.
Just a quick horns down, and that'll make my day.
Quick one. Hey, next one, I got you. I got you.
All right. Make sure y'all in the comment section give me a horns up or horns down. Along with y'all's feedback, go ahead and smash the subscribe button, hit the like button. A lot of content coming out. I appreciate y'all watching, and till next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
See you.